Hello Bookish friends, welcome to my October wrap-up part 2. In this video I will talk about the 8 works that I finished in the second half of October. Like I did in my previous wrap-ups, I will insert the clips that I've recorded right after or very soon after I finish those works. Today is the 16th of October and I finished the graphic novel adaptation of the Christie book that I read in the first days of the month, which was Endless Night by Agatha Christie. Turkish translation of the title is exactly the same, which is Bitmeyen Gece. In this story, Michael, who's very ambitious in life, discovers a place called Gypsy's Acre, and he dreams that he should live in this land, in his dream house, with the girl that he dreams of. And he comes very close to this goal when he meets ultra-rich Ellie, an American heiress. And when they marry, they both ignore the warnings from a local woman who says that they should leave this cursed place immediately. I had liked the original novel, which had many psychological aspects in it, and it has a twist that I did not see coming until the very end. I thought it was one of the better works of Agatha Christie in her later years. The same things unfortunately could not be adapted into a graphic novel. There were so many inner thoughts in Michael, and the whole book is written by his point of view, makes it really hard to transfer it to a graphic novel format, and unfortunately the adapter suffered from this hardship. But I quite enjoyed the drawing style, which was much more realistic, in my opinion, than the other graphic novel adaptations that I have read of Agatha Christie. This was a mediocre read for me. I gave the graphic novel adaptation Bitmeyen Gece a 6 out of 10. Today is the 18th of October and I finished the third book that I was reading for victober, which was Erewhon by Samuel Butler. I was also reading this book for my real life book club. In this book, our explorer goes to one of British colonies, which is unnamed in the book. His main aim to go there is to work and have a fortune for himself to go back to England. As he goes around the village that he stays in, he one day finds a very beautiful piece of landscape with a wonderful view. He decides to go towards the hill and explore other riches there. He goes to find a culture that is very different from the English culture, as well as any other traditional culture. They have very different traditions, conflicting views, and also very strict rules about what is permitted and what is not. The book seems to be the criticism of the idea of utopia. I think the book achieves its aim on this matter. Because it is quite a good criticism on many of the contradictions that are thought to be utopian. However, this book very much reads like a non-fiction essay book about a fictional society, and there were two very long dedicated chapters to just explaining how these Erewhonians lived. Although at the beginning of the chapters I found them interesting, towards the end it got really boring because I really wanted to know more about the interaction between this stranger and Erewhonians. I was very much impressed by how relevant the section about whether the machines have a system that is alive or not, and some other ideas which became very true in the following years. Overall, I gave Erewhon by Samuel Butler a 6 out of 10. Today is the 20th of October and I finished another short story that I'm reading for victober, which was called An Account of Some Strange Disturbances in Aungier Street. In this short story, our narrator and his cousin decide to move to a house owned by his uncle in the time that they spent in the university. This very old house, older than 250 years, has a reputation for being haunted. However, the narrator's cousin does not believe that story. But as the time goes on, many strange occurrences do happen while they are staying in the house. This short story was a classic ghost horror story. What they suffered was told in quite detail, and it was really easy to understand considering that it was written more than 150 years ago. However, maybe because of that reason, the story felt a bit outdated and nothing was shocking about it. So I gave an account of some strange disturbances in Aungier Street by Sheridan Fanu a 6 out of 10. Today is the 23rd of October and yesterday evening, at the last minutes of the day actually, I finished the last work that I was reading for victober, which was Silas Marner by George Eliot. In this classic novel, the titular character Silas Marner is falsely accused in his home village, and he's also tricked by his best friend and his fiancée. So he goes to another country village because he does not trust anybody. He lives the life of a recluse. He does his work very well and he collects lots of money, and one of his passions in life is to look at the money that he's hiding every day and count them. However, one day he gets robbed. After this robbery, he loses his only joy of living, and he decides to leave his door open anyway because he hopes that his gold will come back. During a snowy night, he does find a golden-haired baby in his house, and after that night, his life changes completely. This was my first George Eliot novel, and it certainly won't be the last. I really liked especially the second part of the book, which focused on Silas and his adopted daughter, Eppie. I also really found the relationship of the other characters, Eppie's father and the woman he loves, very interesting, and it was a really good show of the society at that time. I'm thinking because it's her first work, the flow of the events in each individual chapter was a bit raw, especially in the first half of the book. Other than that, I thought it was a really very well written book, and I can now see why George Eliot is such a beloved author, because she really touches at our heartstrings in the way that she tells the events. So overall, I gave Silas Marner by George Eliot an 8 out of 10. Today is the 25th of October and I finished another book today, which was the next book in Inspector Alan Grant series by Josephine. In this book, Inspector Alan Grant investigates the disappearance of a young photographer who's most likely to be drowned or killed in the river in a rural English town, mostly preferred by the art society. And Grant tries to find out the truth behind this event with the help of a very devoted deputy and a theater actress whom he is very fond of. Like I said about her previous books in the series, I really do like Josephine's writing. It flows so easily. You get to know the characters immediately with her excellent writing style. Also, I really do like the character of uh, Alan Grant. He's portrayed very realistically in these books, and I also like the fact that he questions what seems to be apparent, even as far as admitting that he is wrong. The mystery in this one was a quite interesting one, and I've never guessed the solution of the mystery, which made it even an additional joy for me, because I like to be surprised in mystery novels. Overall, I gave this very decent mystery written in 1950 an 8 out of 10. Today is the 27th of October, and I finished a novella that I took from my library, which was called Güvercin by Patrick Süskind. This novella, originally written in German, has an English title of The Pigeon. In this story, Noel is a man in his 50s who's very content with his life, and his life consists of routines and living in those routine life seems to make him very, very comfortable. But his comfort is spoiled by a pigeon that comes to his door. Everything else goes wrong in that one day that is disturbed by the pigeon. I was very much impressed by Süskind's writing style. Although it was translated, I could clearly see that it wrote in a very plain but also very effective way. And even though the story took place in 1987, the time that it was written, the theme of small things that bother our plans and disturb our routines felt a bit familiar, and could identify with this man, although I'm not that crazy on routine. The criticism of this very monotonous sort of modern life was on point in my opinion. Although it felt too pessimistic at times, I quite enjoyed reading this novella and gave it a 7 out of 10. Today is the 29th of October, and I finished two works today. The first work that I finished was the play that I was reading for Books of Alfred Hitchcock project, which was called Dial M for Murder by Frederick Knott. This play was adapted into an Alfred Hitchcock movie with the same title, Dial M for Murder. In this play, a husband plans to kill his wife, both because she had cheated on him once, and also because she's rich and the life insurance money would go directly to him as her beneficiary. But to kill her, he needs to have a plan for a perfect murder, and he is so sure of himself that he has devised the perfect plan. However, things go very different from what he has planned. I had previously seen the movie, and while I was reading this play, I remembered how much I liked the progression of the plot and how clever the mystery was presented. Overall, I really like this short play and gave Dial M for Murder by Frederick Knott an 8 out of 10. The second work that I finished was the book that I was bud reading with Gaia for almost 2 weeks, which was also the book that I chose for my series about series challenge, a trilogy that I would start and finish in 2023. The book is Scythe by Neal Shusterman, and this young adult novel taking place in the future. Age of immortality has happened, and all of the diseases are cured, and also a way to revive a dead person or to regenerate a person to their younger years has been accomplished. However, this immortality brings the problem of overpopulation, and a new kind of institution called Scythe is founded, so that the Scythes would choose random people to kill, which is called gleaning in this world, so that the overpopulation problem is solved. In this very interesting world, we follow the two apprentices of a Scythe, Citra and Rowan, who goes through very different journeys during their apprenticeship. And twists and turns do follow them in their journey. Prior to finishing this book, I had not given any book 10 out of 10 this year. And up until 2 days ago, I was thinking that I would also give this book a 9 out of 10. However, the ending was spectacular in my opinion. And also many new clever threads did happen in the book. So I think it deserved my first 10 out of 10 rating. But it was not just the ending that made this book extraordinarily good. The details in the world building, complex plot structure, very three-dimensional characters, and also a plot with twists and turns made this book an excellent read for me. I was really impressed by how such complex themes could be given in such a clear writing style. I really did love the character of Citra. I also really liked Rowan. I was also really impressed by many of the side characters and how different they were, although they were all some sort of Scythe. Other than this being an excellent book for me, it was an excellent buddy reading experience with Gaia. We have done some other buddy reads in the past. They have all been wonderful buddy reading experiences, and this was no exception. So I want to thank Gaia for being with me in this really enjoyable reading experience. I'm really glad that I chose the Arc of a Scythe trilogy for my project, and cannot wait to buddy read the next book with Gaia next month. So those were the 8 works that I read in the second half of October. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? And what did you think of them? If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose disturbance. Disturbance means rahatsızlık in Turkish, and rahatsızlık is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.